I like to use this little jig that I get from Mr. Ronnie over at Slater. Now we need to come along and we're opening that seam up again, okay? So stand that up. With metal, this is what I want to leave behind, my panel. This portion right here, this is my working end. That's what I want to get rid of. So in this case, I want the working material to come this way. This is not the correct snip for it, right? It's going to send the material the wrong direction. This would be the snip that I want. And then you just follow right on down through. There's a little bit of extra wrist action to follow the curve. You're going to need to practice that. It takes some time. You can just lay that down out of your way. Go ahead and while you're at it, grab a hold of the top of the male, get that dressed back down. This panel is now ready to receive an overcloak or a female seam. All right, lean over the pan, and I can follow really well this way. If I were to use the other snip on there, I'm not able to follow the jaw as well, I find, okay? It's still doable, but it's kind of what you're comfortable with, because when I start to cut this way, my waist is going to get right in the way of my viewpoint. So that's why I don't like that one. When I'm cutting with this one, my waist is disappearing and I can watch my line. Now, circle snips, as with any snips, do not cut continuously to the end of your snip, all right? And really, really watch out your following, okay? You do not want to leave a burr behind here. If you leave anything that resembles a burr, if that fish hook can grab your skin in any way, shape, or form, if this makes you cringe, that will tear, okay? You need this to be nice and smooth. Any of those little cuts, cracks will propagate a tear eventually. All right, now next step in finishing that, you can open this back up and remove this little dewlap right here. It is not necessary, but it can give you a little bit cleaner finished product, because if you don't take that out of there, it's just one more layer that you're going to deal with. You can do it a few different ways. A lot of times I'll just grab my snips and work them right in here to get that back open. Of course, I'm shooting a video, so I'm going to be all finicky now. There we go. 1, 2, out of your way. Grab your seamers there, close that. Grab a narrower set of tongs, okay? Either these guys, they're fine enough. Now you can go to a flat nose tong, even narrower jaw, okay? The narrower the jaw, the better on a radius. The reason being, back to us stretching the metal where we don't want to. If you have a wider jaw on a narrow radius, you're going to put a lot of force and stretching right here on the material, and you don't want to do that, okay? Now here, you're going to get away with it. 4-inch pipe boot, you're going to have to go to these. Okay, bring it over. Now you're not looking necessarily to do all the work with the tong. You need to give an initial crack to the metal so that the metal has some information on where it wants to go. Otherwise, it's going to really kind of travel wherever it wants. You can use any number of different hammers and really any number of techniques. That's one way to go about it, getting your anvil in like such and such. This guy, when you're just starting out, you bring that in, you grab another clamp here, you clamp that on tight, that's your anvil. You pound over that and you'll have a really nice finish. These 90s that I like to use, I tend to grab right here. And then when we hammer metal, there's kind of a wiping motion that happens. You're not just killing it and doing, you know, go home. You're telling it where to go, all right? We take it with us. This is how a tinner swings a hammer, all right? So that's over to 90 now. Now you want to come in with back support. If this is still in your hand, just use it like this or like this, okay? Now you can see that doesn't fit in there quite as well. A couple different hammers you can use for that. A cross-face detailing hammer. Very useful in this instance, all right? Because it's really going to tuck that material in tight where it wants to go. And you can kind of see, again, this paint does not care. I am by no stretch of the imagination trying to keep from scratching right now. Okay, so we tighten that up. There's that. Okay, so you see these frames, all right? We're gonna come in and we're going to rest the top of the seam right into the pivot point on the frame. All right, and then we're going to rock with it. We just redress the seam. It's a lot easier than all that friggin' hammer work. It's a lot easier on your body, all right? Think that way as you're doing this stuff. Your career is gonna shorten up drastically if you don't. Now we can come in, bada bing, bada boom. And we will hem the panel around at the very end here. One little point of order when we hem our pan around, please stop crushing your pans tight, folks. We don't want that. This is our roof deck. This is our drip edge. Maybe it's plumb, maybe it's not. When we bring that pan around, we want to leave it slightly open here, okay? This is where our water drips off. If we crush this around tight to our drip edge, our water clings, and then our water comes in, and then our water comes up the pan, and then the pan gets buffeted by the wind, and next thing we know, our water's 20 foot uphill.